for you what we talked about in class about color and how to pick color. So up till now, we've kind of been just doing color on the fly. We've been double clicking on the fill color to get to the color picker. What you're looking at are a bunch of different ways of picking color. Watch, as I drag, see the numbers change? That's because those numbers represent these colors. CMYK is for print, RGB is for digital, hex is also for digital. Now, when I asked you to create your file, you'll remember that I asked you to choose RGB as the color mode. That's because I assumed that your images were going to be for digital, right? Here, just say, hey, and by the way, this is a logo that we designed for our client, ICSC, the International Consortium of Shopping Centers. Watch what happens if I come to File and I look at the color mode. It's RGB. Take a look at this inner C as I change from RGB, which is digital, to CMYK, which is for print. Let's say I want to do a poster. You see the blue kind of deaden? That's because CMYK can't render all the same colors as RGB, especially the brighter versions of the colors. So if I was doing a poster, we have a whole second set of color values for print that are separate from digital. We're going to talk more about color when we talk about InDesign, but I just wanted to give you kind of the beginnings of that. That's one way. This color picker is one way, but that's very kind of transient. Another way to do it, which is the way that I use in my personal work, I come down to swatches, S for swatches. Now, your swatch menu probably looks like that. All of these little swatches in a row. All right, those are called thumbnails. I use the large list view because I want to see the names of the colors. And you can see, I think, that these names represent the color values in RGB. These are RGB colors because this is an RGB file. But let's say you and I were working on a series of spot illustrations and we wanted the orange to always be this pumpkin orange. If I double click, I can go ahead and call it pumpkin orange. I don't have to name it by its values so that you and I would instantly know that that's pumpkin. And we can actually transfer the colors between files. You can load swatches from other files into your file. Now, you say, well, Chris, where did this person get all of these colors that they loaded in here? Well, I'll show you. So you can make them up using the color picker. So I'll do that for this one. I'll get a very pale orange, right? Here's this pale orange. So now that this is highlighted, I can say new swatch, and there's the pale orange, and I can say, okay, get rid of that. There's our new color. It pops it at the bottom. Let me undo. The other way I can do it is much more direct. I can simply grab this color swatch. Here, let me move this closer so you can see what I'm doing. I can grab this, I'm clicking and dragging and just literally pulling it right into the swatch menu. All right. Another way that you can do it is that you can use a color picker online. So I'm on couleurs.co. We talked about this in class. You can use Couleurs to start generating palettes. And if I click on this, so see this number? This is that hex number that we talked about. They express these in hex colors. And so if I lock down, let's say I like this and I hit the space bar, Couleurs will start to generate new colors. And if I click here on copy hex, that six number letter combination is in my clipboard now. So if I come back here and I say new swatch, and I come down here to where the hex colors are kept, and I paste, Command V means paste, go away library. You can see that I brought that new color in. There are the color values. And I can keep on making, I can choose my values. This is what I've asked you to do for your homework. I asked you to pick colors for your piece, and I'd like those colors here. Another way, I know this is getting a little tedious, but another way you can bring in color is if you come to the window and you come all the way to the bottom, these are the swatch libraries. Adobe has a whole section of swatches that they have pre-done for you. So let's say I wanted the ice cream swatches. So these are all ice cream swatches, and you can see that they are categorized. Like there's Tavisha's Neapolitan ice cream right there. And again, I can say put it in the large list view. So I have sherbet and Neapolitan and spumoni, spumoni's delicious, and chocolate and mint chip. And I can take any one of those and I can add it. I just grabbed that and pulled it over, added it over here. Another way that you can do this, I'm almost done, is that you can use the eyedropper tool. So let's say, let me find a photograph and I'll bring it in. Let's say I had a famous work of art and I wanted to, okay, so I just brought this image that was sitting on my desktop. I placed this inside. I really like the color of this ghost. So I'm going to go over here and get my eyedropper tool. Here. Now watch the foreground color. And it sampled the color right off of the ghost. And you'll notice that wherever I put the eyedropper, because there are lots of different shades of green making up this ghost, it's here. And then I can grab that and move it over into my swatches. All right. So what I would like you to do, I want you to look at your image, think about your colors, think about storytelling. Think about colors that help you tell your story. And for each of your 6x6 panels, I'd like some boxes. I'd like those boxes to be filled with color, and I'd like those colors to be represented here in the swatch panel. So if you're making your colors up from your color picker, be sure and drag them over. All right. Hopefully that's kind of a flying introduction to color. Oh, the one other thing I'll talk about here is if I have something that I've done in color, if I come up to the window and I get the properties window and I think to myself, I'm not happy with this, but I don't know what I want to do, you can click down here on recolor. And what this is doing is it's analyzed every color in the sunflower group that I grabbed, and it's showing me how close they are in value. And if I swing this thing around the color circle, I think you can see these colors all have a relationship to each other, a value relationship. It's keeping that relationship as I move, and it's applying the colors. So if you're not sure of your colors and you want to have a little fun, consider the properties window and the recolor button. And if you don't like anything, there's a button up here for reset. All right, so that kind of recaps my lecture on color.